Here's a little story I wrote a few years back about how when you meet a fellow Newfoundlander somewhere here in the Rock or perhaps somewhere abroad, it generally doesn't take long before you get to talking and find out what you have in common. I call it the Newfoundland Connection, and it goes like this. I was up in Toronto, down on Yonge Street, when this friendly young feller I happened to meet. I was just out a-walking, taking in some of the sights, a few coins for the homeless, they on the streets all those nights. When this guy was stopped and talking, and I could tell by the brogue that he's not from Toronto, and his clothes weren't in vogue. He wore high-top sneakers, tongues hanging out over tight-legged Levi's. He'd a smoke in his mouth. A long-sleeved plaid shirt and a Coors baseball hat got over the belt, though he's not overly fat. So I stopped and I listened to hear what he was saying, but I was too far away for this busker was playing. But as I drew nearer, I heard, "You must know which one I means." He was requesting a song by Ron Hines, Sonny's Dreams. But the busker just shrugged and launched into Hey Joe. But he still tossed him a toonie, heard a bit, turned to go, and I said to him, says I, what part of the Rock you come from? His eyes lit right up, and he smiled as if dumb. I'm from a very small place on the East Coast called Renews. It's just north of Cape Race and south of Fermuse. Oh, Renews, the southern shore, sure. I knew a feller from there. We met up in college. Drank more than a couple of beer. Let's see, his name is Pete Brophy. Haven't seen him for years. Go on, boy, that's my cousin. What's your name? I'm Bob Sears. So we shook. I'm Don Dunphy from Stephenville Crossing. How's old Pete doing? Guess the darts he's still tossing? Oh, yes, he still loves his darts. He's now up in Fort Mac. He fished for a while, then went to work on the tracks. He said, Stephenville Crossing. Sure, my brother went there. To the vocational. Became a linesman. He works for Newfoundland Power back there. Ha! I know a feller, Jim Sears. He stayed at Miss White's, 'cause one time he helped me fix the light on my bike. That's him. Talk about. My son, this world's getting smaller. By now, our volume was darn near a holler. He said, my great-great-aunt married a Dunphy. Her name was Anastasia O'Leary. I looked it up in the archives. We could be related in theory. My son, that's no joke. That's my great-great-grandmother's name. She married Thomas Dunphy. Straight from Ireland he came. See, there you go. Now we're practically some kind of cousins. I allow if we talked more, we'd find common threads by the dozens. Well, I'm not in no hurry. How about we goes get a beer? I got 3 hours to game time, and it's just 10 minutes from here. What? To the Habs and the Leafs? Go on, boy. Where's your seat? Red section R14, just bought from a scalper. No, I'm next to you. Now, if that can't be beat. So we went for that beer, and then we went to the game. We watched a bit, talked a lot, and drank more of the same. We talked about home and the places we missed. We talked about hunting and some places we'd fished. We talked about heroes, Gushu, Cleary, Ryder, and Clow. We talked about home in the mountains of snow. We got on to food and our favorite dishes, about moose steaks and fish cakes, about cod tongues and breeches. So it just goes to show how connected we are. Though our province is vast and its expatriates spread far, you'll find something in common. Just talk for a minute or two. Doesn't matter where you meet them, whether it's Toronto or Kalamazoo. Cheers.